the creators couch. Welcome to the creators couch. Welcome to the creators couch. Welcome to the creators couch.
Hey everybody, and welcome to another amazing episode of the Creators Couch. It is Marion, and today I have the one and only comedian, actor, and all of the things, Tre Miles. Y'all give him a round of applause.
Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'll insert that.
That's what I'm talking
Yeah.
about. There it is. You feel me?
Yes. So how are you doing, Tre?
I'm doing good. Can't complain. It's
Yeah.
a privilege and an honor and a blessing
Oh,
to be here.
okay. Well, that's good. I'm so glad you're here.
Yeah, thank you. Oh,
Oh,
glad to be here.
I know. Okay, so let's get right into it. Okay, so I really want to know, what was Tre like as a kid? Because right now we know you're a comedian. Okay, you're an actor. You're doing all of the things. When did this start?
Um, well, Kevin Hart once said that, some of the best comedians and those who get in comedy come from a dark spot. And that's true, because coming up as a child, I had like a very difficult childhood. A lot of details, that we don't got enough time for, but you know what I'm saying? But because of that, that's what kind of brought me into comedy, because you make fun of, dark situations or, or predicaments that, you know what I'm saying, that I really had no control over.
Yeah.
So, so seeking attention and wanting to be seen, you know what I'm saying, being raised in an environment where I couldn't express myself or, didn't get the attention and, things that a young man should have been raised with, I didn't have that. So that kind of contributed to my personality, being as vivacious and, crazy as I am.
Yeah.
But
Okay, so I want to give you a little time. Okay, I want to know, like, what do you feel like was one of those things that you really had to endure that really kind of like shaped you almost in a way, but almost like in a not a necessarily negative way, but something that really impacted you like the most when you were growing up.
uh, I can't just point out just no one simple thing. It's just the totality of my childhood. To put it simply, I was raised in an environment to where I didn't receive attention, love, care, and all that stuff from my mom. You know what I mean? All the essential stuff that a young man needs, like, from their mother. I didn't receive that, you know what I'm saying? So naturally, I do, I wouldn't say necessarily act out, but, like I did things, to gain attention, not so much from her, but, from my peers and stuff like that, you know what I'm saying? Just to get that, value, to feel appreciated, to feel just noticed in general,
Yeah.
but,
And I know you mentioned your mom. Did you just grow up in a single parent household with your mom, or was it your mom and?
oh no, it was my mom and my stepfather.
Yeah.
Yeah, they divorced when I was about 5, and then got remarried, and then that's what I was raised in with my mom and my stepfather and my brothers and sisters that was at the crib and stuff with us and stuff. But it was a unique experience coming from being a single child, you know what I'm saying, and coming into that environment. It was different. It was adjustment that I wasn't quite ready for, but it happened.
Yeah.
And I'm, for the most part, I'm thankful for it,
Yeah.
because God, everything happens for a reason, from
Yeah.
the smallest to the biggest thing.
Yeah.
And I'm glad for who I am now. Comedy aside, just all the other stuff that comes with that, I'm very appreciative of. And, it's just as you get older and you question, I think it's just an adult as you look back and see what contributes to your development when you sit there and actually, do a self-reflection and see and ask yourself why you do certain things and stuff like that. You actually find those answers and stuff.
Yeah.
So that's where it started from, but it's my personality.
Yeah.
A lot of people think it's just something I could turn off and turn on. I can't. This is me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm just throw it off, but I'm the same way around with everybody.
Yeah.
Like, and it's no hurt, harm, and danger, because I say some pretty outrageous stuff. And those who know me know I say some outrageous stuff, but it's all entertainment purposes, and it's coming from a good place, you know what I'm saying, regardless of how crazy it is. So,
Okay, so I know you mentioned just now that you went from being a single child with your mom, and then she got remarried, and then you all of a sudden became not the only child, that you had other siblings, right? And you mentioned like you feel like you were lacking that care and attention from your mom at that time. How did that translate to you being an only child to having siblings? Did you feel like that continued on, like she still didn't give you that attention that you felt like you needed now that there were more children in the picture?
Yeah, I wouldn't even say necessarily it was the kids that played a part in it, you know what I'm saying? It was just her, you know, for whatever reason, we just grew apart. We went from being so close to black sheep, you know what I mean? And it was an adjustment, you know what I'm saying? Like 5 years, I mean, what, 2 of those years I actually remember, you know, it was just me and her, you know what I'm saying? So we was close. And then when moving the crib with 5 other people, you know what I'm saying, that she's familiar with, I don't know nothing about them, you know what I'm saying? Other than first contact, you know, it was adjustment. Going from getting everything I wanted, you know what I'm saying, you know, to having to share. And you know, things I wanted now I can't get because now I got to share with other people. And all of which don't, you know what I'm saying, treat my stuff or treat things like I treat. I take care of my stuff. You know, some of them don't care, you know what I'm saying? Some of them not even used to having certain things like
Yeah.
that. So, you know, so it's just an adjustment overall. You feel me? But I mean, you know, it is what it is. You know, it plays a part of my character and, you know, make me who I am today. So,
Yeah. No,
uh,
that makes sense. I do remember like growing up and there being that kid that was always like the comedian,
mm.
that was always funny and was always, making fun of people or just making jokes, making fun of themselves. So do you feel like you lacking that attention? So whenever you would go to school, were you that kid?
No, not initially. You know, as kids, you grow into your personality. And at first, you know what I'm saying, I was like, you know, a little skittish, you know, scared to do things, trying to try, you know, scared to try certain things or whatever. But I say around high school, that's when I was like, you know what, I don't care no more. You know what I'm saying? Like,
What made you get to that point?
um, I can't pinpoint no certain specific timeline or specific situation. It's just I remember just waking up one day and I just didn't care what people thought. You know, a lot of times as kids, you think about peer pressure, you think about the effect of what other people do may make you feel and stuff like that. And I say that turned off for me like fairly quick. I say around 8th grade or 9th grade when I was like, man, I don't care no more. You know what I'm saying and stuff. And that's just how I've been rolling ever since. You know, and like I said, it's you know, I wouldn't say I'm carefree, but I'm kind of fearless in a sense, you know what I'm saying? Which I'm not bragging, I'm just being honest, you know what I'm saying? Some things it don't faze me.
Yeah.
I don't get embarrassed.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't feel embarrassment. I don't feel, what's the word? I just don't feel nervous a lot. You know what I'm saying? A lot of situations people think like I'm nervous. Man, I don't. Like, sometimes I just numb to it. Sometimes I just don't care enough to feel that. Like, you know, so it's just, you know, it's a good thing and a bad thing. Sometimes I'm come off as nonchalant. Sometimes I could come off as, you know, um, lacking empathy and lacking sympathy. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes I feel that, and it's like I care, but I can't express it. You know, so it got its pros and cons of, you know, but you know, I work on what what I try to work on. You know what I'm saying? Stuff, and you know, go from there. So
Definitely.
yeah.
So when did you discover that you were funny or you wanted to be a comedian? Like when did that hit you?
I'm gonna be real. I never thought I was funny. I just, everything I do, I just do. You know what I'm saying? If people happen to laugh, then you know I feel good. But I never, you know.
So you never really try to make people laugh. It's just something that you feel like it comes natural.
Right, you know what I'm saying? I found out that when I try to make people laugh, it doesn't hit. But when I don't try to make people laugh and I just do stuff, you know, that's when make people laugh and stuff. So I just stopped trying to make people laugh and just be me. You know, now the videos that I do, you know what I'm saying, that stuff, that's just me passionate about videos and stuff, and comedy just an easy venture to go into, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, so that's why I do that. And it's easier for others who's not familiar in the industry to branch in because it's a comfort zone. You know, it's easier to be funny as opposed to sitting there trying to be serious all the time, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, and that's why I do those videos, but I never would, you know, be boastful enough to say, man, I'm funny. Like, you know, it's just if you think I'm funny, then good. If not, hey, that's cool too. You know, so yeah.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. Hey, I know recently you're in a movie.
Yeah.
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 You want to talk about that?
Yeah. So independent film is obviously it's different than, you know, mainstream film, mainstream media in general and stuff. So when working just like regular industry, you know, you come across a lot of characters, you know what I'm saying? Different characters, different folks, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, one person once said one day that, you know, becoming an actor or dealing with actors is this crazy monotony of uh, personalities, gumbo, a personality gumbo. Because to pursue this career or to be in this industry, you got to be a little bit crazy. You know what I'm saying? You see a lot of stuff, you know what I'm saying? And sometimes some people got to do a lot of stuff, you know. But none of that happened with this film, though.
Okay.
You know what I'm
Nothing
saying?
like, Cat Williams talk where I had to.
Nah, none of
No?
that,
Okay.
none of that, none of
Just
that.
checking. I mean,
Oh yeah, you
so I'm
know,
saying no judge.
no, not at all. You know what I'm saying? None of that in opening booties. But no, but like it's you know, it's a funny industry. It's fun. You know, it's passionate. Your passion got to drive you because it's long hours, it's long days, and dealing with said personalities. You know, it can be draining.
Yeah.
Um,
How did you even break into that?
oh, and I don't mean to sound dramatic, but I kind of feel like the passion for the entertainment industry in general kind of finds you. I don't think not one person was born and be like, you know, I want to be an actor, I want to be a rapper. I think it just kind of dawned on them one day. It was like, you know what? I want to pursue this. You know, I think I can be pretty good at this. You know what I'm saying? That's what happened to me. I've always been kind of with it. My mom used to teach drama and stuff like that or whatever. She was in drama school when she was in school and stuff. So being in that, being around that when I was younger, you know, I think I kind of developed it naturally. When I was 18, I really pursued it heavily, did background work for movies and stuff like that. Once I got a little taste of that background work, I actually started honing in. Went to school for it, moved to LA for a year. So
you went to school for acting?
yeah.
Okay,
Went to school for acting, filming, the whole industry, politics, dynamics, you know, producing, all that. Like, you know, I went to school for all that and stuff. I learned all that stuff. So when I came down here, I had an agent, I had a manager, I had representation. And this was back in like 2013, 14, before gender messed up everything. That's when Having the Have-Nots just started. Originals, a whole bunch of shows that's classics now had just started.
Okay, so I know you just mentioned you had an agent, you had a manager. Do you think that that's something that is required for someone to have if they want to break into, acting and this industry?
Yes, if you want to pursue a mainstream, the main industry, yeah, you need at least an agent. You know, that's a must because that's the only way you can really get legit roles. You know what I'm saying? You can go on Actors Access and the different websites and do it yourself, but you're only limited thus far on your own. You need an agent to get that extra boost. You know, a manager you can go without until you make it to a certain level, but agent, yes, most definitely. Independent, no, you don't need none of that. You know, but yeah, I had that until I had got engaged. Once I got engaged, I kind of switched my priorities. Then I lost my representation. That didn't work out, and I was kind of at a standstill of what to do next.
Well, you said that didn't work out. Your engagement didn't work out.
Yeah, we broke up.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You want to talk about what happened?
You know what I'm saying?
ahead or
I mean, yeah, I could talk about it. That was young. I was young. I'm 32 now. I was 21 when we got engaged.
Okay, wow.
Yeah, you know,
Okay.
trying to be a lover,
I see.
blood of mercy. But no, like, you know, so 21 got engaged. We broke up when I was like 23, maybe 24. I can't remember or whatnot. But it was mostly me. You know, and most men won't say that.
Wow.
You know, but
Okay, let's get.
I was kind of the problem primarily. Just stemming from a childhood. You know what I'm saying, man? I was terrible, man. I was a bit toxic. Had
Elaborate.
oh yeah. I'm about to get into it. Selfish. I was selfish, narcissistic, unloving, quick-tempered, verbally abusive. I didn't put my hands on it. Verbally abusive. You know, just handling issues and stuff like that and whatnot. Selfish, real selfish. But the switch gears, you know what I'm saying? When we broke up, like I told you, you do self-evaluating. And people should do this, you know what I'm saying? When you break up with something serious, you need to take time to heal. You know, learn what happened, you know what I'm saying? Look back on the past mistakes, you know what I'm saying? Think about the situation, you know what I'm saying? Meditate on it and see where it went wrong. You know what I mean? If you did, you know, and take accountability. You know what I'm saying? And
Why is it so hard though for people?
I don't know.
Because how did you go from being all these things that you say, like, you're verbally abusive, narcissistic, selfish. How do you go from that in a relationship to ending the relationship and realizing, like, whoa, I'm the problem? Because a lot of times when you are those things, you can't see, it's very difficult for you to see yourself as a problem, which is why people are this way for so long. So how did you, so young, realize, like, okay, It's me.
Mhm. Jesus.
Mm,
Jesus.
mm.
You know, I've always had a strong relationship with him. But you know, as you get older, especially when you're in that little 20s, it sometimes major growth happens. At least for me, major growth happened in my 20s. You know what I mean? And a lot of realizations happen. And I was one of them, praying, you know, getting closer to God, reading that word, understanding what that word means by growing your relationship. You know what I'm saying? Talking with God and having that secure, strong foundation and growth. You know, that spirit reveals things to you. You know, wisdom is serious. You know, when it speaks in Proverbs about learning wisdom, wisdom in the streets, you know, it's calling to you. It really is. You know, and when you sit there and meditate, pray, and actually, you know, focus on your relationship with God, all that builds. You start to get that wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. So, and it makes not only life easier, but situations easier. You know, when you sit there and think about why this didn't work out, and you realize, oh, that's why it didn't work out. You know what I'm saying? So you know, the Bible directs you. It like it says, a two-edged sword. It can cut you, but it protects you at the same time. You know, so and that's what it was. So meditating, doing that, getting real heavy in the word, it brought it to the realization when I sat there and did self-reflection. So, you know, and I told her, even when we called her back, you know, years later down the line, I told her, hey, man, it was my fault. You know, and I apologize. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you know, I accept full responsibility, but I take, you know, responsibility for my part and my role that I played in it. You know what I'm saying? And we talked about it a little bit. It was good. It was golden. And then I
Or
changed my
didn't
number.
y'all rekindle the?
I changed my number. And no, but I ain't I changed my number because it was, for me, it was like a symbol of putting the past behind me. You know, it was a new me. You know, spiritually renovated, you know what I'm saying? You know how it is, like, you know, you was doing your life one way, and then you know, and not necessarily you found God, but you got that burst, like that next level of like spiritual upgrade, you know what I'm saying? And so it's like I just put all past things behind me, you know, and stuff, and you know, move forward and you know, in the direction I'm going now. So
So you said, okay, so you got engaged and then you broke up that relationship and then back into your acting
hmm
career. So
right, right. And so that's what happened. So after that, you know, I prayed to God one time. I was working at the mall, man. It was raining. And you know, I just felt so lost. And I just thought to God, and man, I was like, man, I feel like you blessed me with talent. I said, I got all these ideas, I got all these urges, you know, to be in the entertainment industry and do all these things or whatnot, but I don't know what to do. So I was like, God, I'm following your lead. Like whatever you want to happen, let it happen. And I say probably about 3 days later, uh, partner called me, well, my brother actually called me and whatnot, and asked me like, you know, why you ain't filming or doing nothing? I said, man, I don't got no camera. I don't got nothing to film it on or edit on. I don't got none of that. And he was like, man, so why you don't get you a camera and a computer? I said, man, I don't got the funds. Like, you know, man, I don't know how he did it. I don't know. And this is my accountant. I don't
okay.
know how he finagled. The next day, got a computer, got a camera.
Wow. Okay. So let me make sure I'm understanding. So, okay. So he called you. He was also your accountant. It's your friend and your accountant.
Mhm.
Okay. And he was asking you, like, why don't you have a camera? Why don't you have a computer?
Right.
And then the next day, he got your camera and a
Right.
computer.
hmm
Like, how did that make you feel?
Man, I felt blessed.
Yeah.
I felt like, all right, God, I prayed and you answered.
Wow.
I ain't about to let it go in vain. So, man, I picked up that camera. I've been running with it ever since
Wow.
and stuff. So, you know, and from there, it was just kind of directing how I wanted to do things and stuff like
Yeah.
that. Um,
So, okay. So, as we get into that, because I know that, it's easy for us to sum it up, but just like you said, you felt discouraged. You felt like, kind of lost. You know, there are people that feel that way now, and sometimes that deters them away from, pursuing their dreams and their goals. They feel lost and then they just kind of stay in that space for a very long time. That maybe they're afraid to make the moves or different things like that, So it's like it's one thing to have a camera and a computer, and it's another thing to actually do the work.
mhm.
So what inspired you to say, okay, you know what? I'm going to make the best of what I have. I may not have everything, but I have something. What was your motivating factor behind it?
Passion. I just want to get the content out there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
That's the question. That's the biggest question. You can ask Will Smith, you can ask Denzel Washington, Morgan Freeman, all these big names, and ask them why. And I'm pretty sure all of the answers gonna be the same thing. We don't know. It's just a drive that you have, you know what I mean? And that's what really separates, those who put in the hard work to those who just do it for a spell to then stop. You know what I mean? That's what drives me for doing it for so long. I don't know why, but it's in me. And I gotta express it. I gotta let it out, you know? And that's just what it is. But doing it created so many opportunities for me.
Wow.
Putting content out there. And I put out videos, man. I think the most views I ever got on a video that I posted on Facebook was probably like 7,000. You know what I'm saying? On my bad day, probably 500 views, you know what I'm saying? Which don't seem like a lot, but I got opportunities from that. You know what I'm saying? I got crazy opportunities that you wouldn't believe. TV gigs, you know what I'm saying? Doing that, meeting instrumental people that's instrumental in my life today. One of which, man, I wouldn't even be a firefighter if it wasn't for him. You know what I'm saying? I met great people, you know what I'm saying? Like it created so many opportunities just by putting content out there.
Yeah. And I think that's so amazing too, because sometimes some people get discouraged with when they look at the number. Maybe they're putting content out there and maybe they're getting 20 views, 100 views, or, and they feel discouraged by that. What would you tell that person who is putting content out and they're discouraged by the number that they see?
Yeah, man, F that number. Forget. Not the F-U-C-K, because we don't curse on here. But no, we do? Fuck the views, man. Because, like, it's people, like you said, people get caught up on the views, wanting people to see it, and you want people to see it, but you got to think about the long term. Okay, so you got 1 million views on a video. What happened next? Those 1 million views don't equate to money. You know what I'm saying? You got 1 million people that viewed you, you know what I'm saying? But the way that works is you got that one video that got 1 million views. You know what I'm saying? What about the other 32 videos you had that only got 700 views, 300 views? You know what I'm saying? So what you gonna do, keep sharing that 1 million view? You gonna drop another one hoping that they get 100 million views. The views don't always equate to success. You know what I'm saying? And you gotta think about the broader picture. You know what I'm saying? You can have 1 million views. It only takes for one view from the right person to see you and create an opportunity for you. You know what I'm saying? And that's what it was for me. So views, yeah. I don't care. I drop a video now, I get 10 views on it. It don't matter. It's just getting it out there. And I feel like what comes from the heart reaches the heart. So if I put my content with good faith and good, intention, it's gonna reach when it needs to reach, if it reaches anybody,
So how do you feel, in times where you're putting out videos and you don't try to make people laugh, it's just what you do. But like, when was a time where you got pretty harsh feedback on your videos? You're like, dude, this is not funny, or this is not good quality, or this is not whatever. Was there ever a time that you got that? And was that,
Hell yeah, man. It's like, man, I'm gonna tell you the truth. I don't get them often, at least not to my face or whatever, not even on the view. But
like, have you ever gotten a time where, you got really harsh feedback and people are like, okay, you know what, this is not good. It's not funny.
Yeah, hell yeah. But like I said, it don't happen often. But there has been times. And it wasn't really harsh. Because, a lot of people won't be real with you to your face. And even when you ask them, like, what you think, they still trying to sugarcoat stuff.
Like, oh, yeah, it's good.
Yeah, and anybody that know me know, man, you ask me what's up, I'm going to give you the real. Man, if it's garbage, hey, dog, that was trash. However, you know what I'm saying, and, this, that, and other. But, man, yeah, females told me I'm a bit lame, I'm corny, you know what I'm saying, and, I accept that. I don't care. Because like I said, I don't try to be funny. What I drop is what I drop. You know what I'm saying? Those who like it. And if you don't gotta watch it. You know what I'm saying? So, like I said, I never claimed to be funny. The whole reason why my company is called Comedic Prince Entertainment. I put Prince because I don't want to say I'm the king. I ain't ruling nothing, you know what I'm saying? But I'm in the royalty, so I'm a humble enough to say I'm a prince. I might not be the funniest, but, you know what I'm saying? You're gonna be entertained, hence entertainment, you know what I'm saying? It's comedic, it's an adverb saying that, he's not funny. I didn't say funny Trey, you know what I'm saying? It's just a funny comedy, you know what I'm saying? It's just comedic because it's funny properties to it. It might not be hilarious, but you're gonna be entertained. I don't care what nobody say. It might not be funny, but you're gonna watch it to be entertained. Now you might watch it to be like, I could have, you know what I'm saying? But I don't want you to feel like your time being wasted watching my content, you know? And that's what it is. So, but yeah, I didn't got called lame, got thrown corny, you know what I'm saying? But comedy is like food, you know. Some people might like Chinese, some people might like Mexican. Nigga over there might like tofu, you know, weird nigga. But you know what I'm saying? But you know, you got your taste and flavors, you know what I'm saying? So you know,
Yeah.
that's how I roll with it.
Yeah, no, I feel that. So, okay, right now, I know you have um your acting career and your comedy career, okay, but also you're in your firefighter uniform.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So how did that come?
Security. It's
Oh,
part-time job.
oh, okay,
I forgot I had this on.
okay.
Yeah.
Well,
But
explain it to me.
yeah,
So,
which one? Firefight?
yeah,
All
yeah.
right, yeah. So, well, yeah. So, I had, but no, so the one of the dudes I told you that's really instrumental in my life is Vincent Perry. He's like a brother to me.
Yeah.
He is my brother. I don't want to say like a brother. He's a brother and a mentor. You know
And
what I'm
he
saying?
is over Perry Productions.
Exactly.
Okay.
That's hey, okay.
Yeah,
So,
I've
yeah,
heard of
that's
him before.
that's my brother, man. I love him to death. So, he caught me at an early age, the humble age of 28. And and he kind of been helping me out or
How old are you
whatnot.
right now, though?
I'm 32.
32, okay.
You know, single. But
And we'll get into that.
you know what I'm saying? And so he told me about the fire department. And man, Marion, if you would have asked me a couple of years, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, nigga, you think about being a firefighter, I'd be like, nigga, you got to think I'm about to run into somebody house while it's burning?
Right.
The safer nigga?
Mhm.
Shit. But God changed you, man. Like the opportunity opened up and it happened. He's a firefighter. Most people that I work with are firefighters, believe it or not. And one time I was in New York with an ex-partner of mine or whatnot. We over there having fun or whatever. And I was just on the phone with Vince and I'm just like, man, bro, I want to film, but I don't never have enough time to film and stuff. And he was like, man, you're on the fire department. I was like, nigga, fire department?
How does
It was
those
like,
things
yeah.
correlate?
Well, I'm about to say, so
Yeah.
fire department, you only work 3 days a week.
Mm.
24 hours, but only 3 days a week,
Yeah.
roughly around 9, 10 days a month. If you got vacation, shit, out of that month, you probably work about 2 days, you know what I'm saying, depending on how your vacation works or whatever, you know what I'm saying. So you got a lot of time on your hands, you know, a lot of times to do other things or whatnot, filming.
Yeah.
So when he told me about it, I was like, all right, it sounds good, but how much you getting paid? It was like, payment ain't good. And at this point, when he telling me I'm working here full time, I'm bringing home about 45, 50,000. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, nigga, you starting off at fire department about 29, 30,000. I was like, nigga, I got mortgage, car note,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying, insurance, you know, house bills. Not no apartment bills.
Right. Big
House
bills.
bills,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? So, you know, I'm like, nigga, I gotta think on this.
Yeah.
And I prayed, you know what I'm saying? I was like, what could it hurt? And I went and took the civil service test, passed that because, you know, I'm that nigga.
And you are.
You know, appreciate that, Marion. Stop that. And so, you know, but I did that. And then when I was taking the entry exam for the fire department, I failed the math portion by like 5 points. So I was like, it ain't for me. And then niggas called me back the next year. It was like, yo, still wants you to join or whatever, opportunity to stand the other. I'm like, all right, cool. So I did it again. This time, I passed the portions, I passed all the stuff I needed to do. Man, I went and took the physical ability test. You know what I'm saying? Did everything. Lied to took the test, passed all them. Niggas never did call me back. I'm like, well, opportunity, you know, wasn't meant for me. Man, them people called me a third time December of last year. No, sorry, not last year, the year before, 2022. And they called me. It was like, yo, we seen you applied. We'd like you to join. You just had to redo everything over again. It was strenuous getting in. That's before the fire academy. And so, man, I just prayed, Marion. I prayed hard. I talked to my grandmama and told my grandma. My grandma gave me some humble words that touched my soul immediately. And I knew right then, you know, God is in control of everything. So I did it, Marion. Went back and did everything over again. It was crazy. I took the civil service test, got the same exact score that I got the first time I took it. Went through everything, passed it and all that and stuff. Went through 6 excruciating but worth it months in the fire academy. I lost weight. I was exhausted mentally, physically, spiritually. I was tested every day, and it hurted my soul, but I made it through the fire, rose through the ashes like a phoenix, and I took flight. You feel me? And so, and that's why I'm here today, you know. So, you know, but it's worth it. It's one of the best jobs ever, you know. Accolades, the benefits, the people you meet, saving lives is all, you know, part of the process and stuff. So, but in so doing that, I'm able to film more, you know what I'm saying, to get more active in the filming industry.
So are you doing your, because initially before you're a firefighter, you're doing your security.
Yeah, I was doing public safety.
So you're still doing public safety.
Yeah.
And you're a firefighter.
Mm-hmm.
And
so I'm firefighter, public safety officer at the general. I do security for like clubs and stuff on the back end, and I also film like funerals, weddings, different events around the city and stuff like that or whatnot.
Wow, so you do it all.
Yeah, I do it all.
Wow.
You know.
Okay, that's really good. Okay, and speaking of doing it all, whenever you came here, you already know we had our Creators Couch Challenge,
right,
where you had to do a challenge that you were not aware of prior to getting here. Okay, so when I told you that there will be a challenge prior to today, how did that make you feel? How did you feel about it?
I knew it was gonna be an adventure. You know what I'm saying? So I was prepared for an adventure. I was prepared for the unknown. You know.
I see you got your boots on. You just kept your.
There it is. You know, yeah.
Ready.
You're ready. It's strapped up and strapped out.
Okay.
You know. I'm just saying no homo just because, but yeah, you know what I'm saying. So you know, so you know, but I knew it was gonna be, you know, what it was. Not exactly what it was, but you know the intensity of it, you know, stuff like that.
Yeah. Okay. So before we get into how you thought about it, we're gonna let you guys watch the video.
It's time for the Creators Couch Challenge.
Hey everybody, this is Marion. So you already know it is time for our Creators Couch Challenge, okay? So I have Trey in the room. He doesn't know what to expect. So we're gonna go in and give him his challenge. All right, come on, let's go. Hey Trey.
Oh no.
Okay, how you feeling?
I'm feeling anxious. I'm scared. What happened?
So this is your challenge. I know that you just were in a movie. Congratulations. So what you're going to do is you're going to create an entire scene, just you, and you're going to have 45 minutes to do so. You can use any of the rooms in the studio, and you're going to create and you're going to direct and produce your entire scene, all just you. Okay?
Like a one-man show.
Yep, one-man show. This is your show.
Okay.
All right, you got 45 minutes to do it.
Okay.
All right, think you got it?
I think so.
And your time starts now.
So I got 45 minutes to come up with it, but the actual scene don't have to be 45 minutes, right? Okay, yeah. A lot of people don't know that I know how to play piano. Not well, but I know how to play it though.
All right, so it has been officially 45 minutes and Trey is done with he's in there working on his last scene. It's been very hard to keep it together. Let's go ahead and tell him that his time is up. All right, come on. Okay. All right. So, congratulations. You are finished with the Creators Couch Challenge. It has been 45 minutes.
Thank you.
How you think you did?
I think I did pretty decent.
Okay. I think I see a little tear that we talked about your shed.
You know, I tried to bring out the serious.
Okay, well, we're going to see how the video looks.
All
right, good job.
We shall. Thank you.
Yeah, high five.
Oh, no. You got this, bro. Okay. She don't know what she missing out on, bro. Okay, she don't want the bad luck, man. You got this, bro. You go on set. You do this performance. You do the best performance you can do. You hit. Do you hit? Who is it? Hey man, they waiting on you on. Hey bro, you good? I'm trying to keep my composure, man, because I know I gotta feel. I was in love, man. I thought what we had was real. And she loved me, man. She did what? But I was only the fool. That's what they mean, dog. Boo Boo the fool. I went to Dollar General and bought us some Cocoa Puffs, man. And I gave her the big pole. I'm not okay, bro. I'm not. You ever had a heartbreak like this, man? Hey, man. But you know what? It inspired me, man. It inspired me to write a song. Come on, let me show it to you. When I wake up and I put on my makeup, there's for you.
So okay. So okay. So all right. So sir, first of all, I couldn't even compose myself. I don't think anybody around could keep their composure. I wasn't ready for the foolery. I don't know why. I've seen your videos. You know, for years. I know what you do. I wasn't ready for that.
Yeah. You know, me either. I specialize in improv.
And so, okay, so yeah, so let's talk. Let's get into that. Okay, have you ever experienced anything like that? Like you had to come in, you literally had 45 minutes to come up with a whole, just everything, film and recorded everything.
So in acting classes, when I went to acting school and stuff like that, improv is one of the main things that we was taught. Being able to think on your feet quickly, you know what I'm saying, and adhere to a situation that is given. Because when you're on film, or even, I'll take film out of it. Film, because you got that cushion of stopping and starting. Theater is the most disciplined form of acting. You know what I'm saying? Theater, Broadway, all that's in the same spectrum, the same field, because you don't have room for error. If you mess up, you gotta think quick on your feet. You know what I'm saying? You gotta fix it immediately. You know what I'm saying? Because they don't know you messed up. The audience don't know you messed up. You know you messed up.
Right.
The trick is to not make it look like you messed up. You know what I'm saying? It's like if you fat and you try to hurry up, get that fat smell out the way before somebody walk in. You know what I'm saying? And you try to do a maneuver. If you're fat, you know what I'm saying? Let the fart. You know what I'm saying? Let that air come out your booty. You know what I'm saying?
I never
Oh,
heard
FOT. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Yeah, but yeah, when you walking down Walmart, stomach bubbling real heavy, you let one out. It's one
But
of
that's
them
how
hard.
you gotta get out the aisle.
You gotta hurry up, get out that aisle. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you let it seep through the booty cheeks, evaporate in the air. And once you see another people coming, you go ahead and try to switch it out. You walk down the aisle, I'm like, nigga, who did? You know what I'm saying? And everybody looking like, knowing you did it. Yeah, you gotta act that out. You know what I'm saying? On the spot.
Right.
Otherwise, you bust it.
Right, for sure.
So the same thing on theater. You know, you're doing your stuff, you want to do that. So when we learned in our acting school was improv. You go in there, somebody give you a situation, and you just hop in or whatnot. You know what I'm saying? So, and that's it helps. It builds up your skill set. It helps you think on your feet. You know, it helps you get active and stuff like that. So.
Yeah, you did really good. So how was it coming into the studio? This is your first time at Geaux Create Studios.
Yeah.
Okay, so when you came in and you had to utilize the studio in a different space in the studio, like how was that?
It was good. First of all, the studio is beautiful. You know what I'm saying? You know, girl, you did your thing, and girl, see the decorations. You go, girl. You feel me? But yeah, but no, it was straight, you know what I'm saying? I know what really to expect, you know, but I came in, it was smelling good, it was looking good, I felt good, you know, and the spaces that you got is creative. It's nice how I got a little different, you know, feng shui in different rooms and stuff like that. So, you know, I dig it. But it adds to creativity, you know what I'm saying? I had a lot to work with, you know what I'm saying? And so little time to do it. So, you know, but, you know, we did it.
Yeah, we did. And a part of this, I assisted you with doing like video and just kind of like help with lighting and everything like that. And so whenever people come to the studio, typically either I'm here or one of my interns are here and we're helping you in whatever way you may need help, you know. So how was that having that person there to assist you as you're creating this?
You know, I've been on a lot of sets before, you know, both new and old, with people experienced and unexperienced. And I have to say, this is one of the top 5 spots that, you know, I feel comfortable with filming any project. You know, for me to be able to sit here and, you know, and tell my plan, and for, you know, you and the camera crew to, you know, to catch that, you know what I'm saying, to hop right on it, and not only film it to the specifications that I said, y'all did it, y'all surpassed that. You know, y'all surpassed my expectations, like y'all was doing it for years. And not only with the skill set y'all doing in the camera work, but also, you know, with the different set pieces. And it's like it was made to be, you know, to film things here. So I got to shout out, girl, you doing your thing, you know what I'm saying? Then you got the colors set, the moon and shit, you know what I'm saying? I got hard a little bit.
Well, thank you so much. So, the Creators Couch Challenge. So you felt like, was it difficult?
It was challenging. It was challenging, you know what I'm saying? But I like a challenge.
Yeah.
You feel me? So being challenged and handling it like I handle it, you know, I feel good. You know, I feel a little accomplishment right there, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
I know, but when you came in though, you went to the different rooms. You had a plan. You had a plan. You were gonna go. You're gonna utilize 1, 2, 3, 4 of the rooms, but we got to utilize 2 of them.
You know what I'm
but I feel like the 2 that we use in the scene, I feel like it's pretty good.
yeah, most definitely. You see it? Y'all see it? They see it?
Y'all see it. It was
It
good.
was good. Good stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, with that. Most definitely.
She did really good, and I just want to thank you so much for coming on the Creators Couch. It's been an honor, and we really had a great time.
We did, and it's an honor and a privilege to be here. And thank you for inviting me.
Of course, and thank you guys for watching. Until next time, we'll see you later on the Creators Couch. Bye.
It's the Creators Couch. It's the Creators Couch. Welcome in, take a seat, take a seat. Welcome to the Creators Couch. Welcome to the Creators Couch. To the Creators Couch. Welcome to the